All right, y'all. We got a short one today. We've been doing these cave diving videos, so I figured, why not do something like this? Like the most painful cave dive that's ever. That sounds interesting to me. I don't know about you, but that sounds interesting to me, boy. So, especially I be over here talking about how I want to do it one day, but I be scared as hell watching the videos. All right, before we get into it, I always want to say appreciate all y'all, love all y'all. You know what I'm saying? We all wake up every day and go through things. So if you need somebody to talk to, you have nobody to talk to, you could talk to me. You feel me? Reach out to your family, your friends, anybody close to you. You can't get a hold of nobody, come talk to me right here on the channel, right here, wherever. Shit. Send me a message on Instagram, whatever. I'm there. I got you. All right. Let's get right into this one. The most painful cave deaths ever.
Mossdale Cave Incident. It was June 24th, 1967, and 10 cavers were about to enter Mossdale Cavern to help clear some of the deeper passages and map them out. The two leaders of the group had already explored this cave before, which reassured everyone else. This particular cavern was known for its tight spaces and the very few areas where a person could fully stand. After a few hours inside, 4 of the cavers realized how difficult the cave actually was and decided to return to the surface. They noticed a cloudy sky, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary. The remaining cavers continued their descent until they reached the Far Marathon Passage, which measured only 18 inches by 12 inches, with a small stream of water flowing along the bottom. Everything seemed to be going well, and
See? See, the last video I watched, they was a cave. It was somebody cave diving in some water. Was in the cave. You didn't think I was gonna finish that sentence because I shouldn't have to. They was cave diving and there was some water in the cave. Now I would have been afraid already because of like the water levels rising for whatever reason. I'm assuming what we're gonna have here is maybe some rising water levels because they mentioned the clouds and everything. Some cloudy skies. This the kind of stuff that makes me not want to go into caves or practice cave diving. Let's get it. Let's see.
the group on the surface soon noticed that it had started raining, so they took cover. Initially, the rain did not seem concerning, but the cavers inside began to notice rising water levels. When the water became alarmingly high, they decided to end the day's work and head back, even though they were still 3 hours from the entrance. Meanwhile, the surface group spotted something terrifying. A lake of water had formed around the cave's entrance. The cavers inside had no idea how much
3 hours, bro? And y'all see the water rising and y'all only just after it gets dangerously high you decide to dip? Bro. I would have been up out of there a long time ago. I ain't gonna lie to you. 3 hours from the cave entrance, boy? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Time to get out. Yeah, it been time to get out.
rising water levels. When the water became alarmingly high, they decided to end the day's work and head back, even though they were still 3 hours from the entrance. Meanwhile, the surface group spotted something terrifying. A lake of water had formed around the cave's entrance. The cavers inside had no idea how much water was about to flood the cave. The surface group ran to get help, while the cavers frantically tried to reach higher chambers. However, the water continued to rise, pressing toward their faces. Rescuers and hundreds of volunteers worked tirelessly, pumping water out of the cave and pumping oxygen inside, hoping that the cavers had found a safe chamber. Unfortunately, every one of the cavers drowned. Shaft sinkhole tragedy. It was May 20.
Bro, that's unfortunate. Rest in peace to them guys, man. That's unfortunate as hell. That is crazy. And that's such a like simple, like, I don't know, like I feel like that's just like mad, like that's a simple, like, it's about to rain. Why we going underground? You know what I mean? Like, oh man, damn, that shit sucks.
Fortunately, every one of the cavers drowned. Shaft sink.
Narrator, this shit is heartless. Yeah, unfortunately, everyone drowned. Like, damn, bro. Damn, you could have like, eased that in there a little bit. He said, nope, everyone died. Like, shit. Damn.
That the cavers had found a safe chamber. Unfortunately, every one of the cavers drowned. Shaft Sinkhole Tragedy. It was May 28, 1973, and a group of 9 diving experts had planned a dive at Mount Gambier's Shaft Sinkhole. This sinkhole had a unique feature.
Mount Gambier Shaft Sinkhole. I don't even like the way that sounds. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you because I don't even like the way that sounds. Yeah, nah, we gonna have to go somewhere else anyway because that sounds a little too aggressive. Uh-uh. Hell no. That sounds like the name of a Titan or some shit. Goddamn, the X-Men character or something.
Sinkhole Tragedy. It was May 28, 1973, and a group of 9 diving experts had planned a dive at Mount Gambier's Shaft Sinkhole. This sinkhole had a unique feature. There was only a tiny opening leading to a cave with a lake 20 feet below. From this opening, a beam of light went down into the cave and onto the lake, which was extremely helpful for the divers' orientation. This beam was visible throughout most of the cave, unless divers ventured too deep into one of the 2 side branches. Everyone initially agreed that they would stay within a 200-foot maximum depth range so they could remain in the main chamber and still see the guiding light. This was
Okay. This cave got only 2 chambers. That's not so bad. You feel me? That's not like you going into a cave where you got to maneuver like it's the motherfucking pyramids or something. You feel me? So I mean, 2 chambers, only 2 ways to go. You feel me? That don't sound too bad. That don't sound too bad. And only staying within 200, like staying within 200 feet range. Like don't go further than 200 feet. That sound, you know what I mean? That's not so far. 200 feet is not that far.
100-foot maximum depth range so they could remain in the main chamber and still see the guiding light. This
I guess 200 feet underwater is a little different.
was their only plan. On the second day, however, 4 divers planned to
Are you a Roblox fanatic? Microsoft Rewards has a brand new way for you to earn digital
go to the western
Listen, I know we still got ads. I apologize. I got to get YouTube Premium. Okay, don't kill me. Don't kill me. Just bear with me.
see the guiding light. This was their only plan. On the second day, however, 4 divers planned to go to the western section of the cave, aiming for a depth of 250 feet, which would have been a new record. This was deeper than initially intended and posed a significant risk.
Then we already established 200 feet, man. Who approved this? I'd have been looking at my boss like,
Because in 1973, divers were still using regular air cylinders rather than mixed gas tanks. For this reason, they had to be more cautious as they went downwards because nitrogen narcosis might have settled in. As they went down, the increasing pressure would have pushed the nitrogen into the bloodstream, producing a state of consciousness that is similar to when people are drunk. Keep in mind that these divers were not very experienced in cave diving. They were more accustomed to standard open water scuba.
all you alcoholics out there, don't try this at home. All right, don't try this at home. It's not the way. I know some niggas probably out there like, equivalent to being drunk, huh? Don't do it.
These divers were not very experienced in cave diving. They were more accustomed to standard open water scuba diving. This added even more risk to their plan. They started going downwards into the western section of the cave, and one experienced diver noticed that nitrogen narcosis was kicking in, so he immediately went back out. Several of them followed him and went back to the surface as well, but 4 of them kept going, determined to set the record and get a quick look before resurfacing. After a minute or so, the group at the surface became concerned, realizing the 4 divers would soon exhaust their air supply. A few returned to the cave to find them, and they discovered a flashlight and a camera on the bottom, but no trace of the divers. There was a problem that we haven't yet mentioned: silt. The movements of the 4 divers stirred up the long settled silt into a sand cloud that would take a lot of time to settle back. This reduced visibility to less than an arm's length, removing any hope for orientation for the underwater divers. Without being able to see anything, oxygen running dangerously low, and nitrogen narcosis kicking in, the 4 divers drowned. Jacob's Well Tragedy. It's November 23rd, 1983, and
Oh man, bro. The most unexpected thing, bro. Like you lost. Like I feel like they was trying to get out, but they couldn't see anything. Like the most unexpected thing, bro. The damn sand at the bottom. Come on, bro. It ain't even the water, the sea monsters, the krakens, and none of that. Just fucking sand popping up, and now I can't see, and I don't know which way I'm going. Insane, insane.
drowned. Jacob's Well Tragedy. It's November 23rd, 1983, and two students from Texas State University, named Richard and Clark, are about to enter Jacob's Well, an underwater hole that leads to an underwater cave. This hole seems relatively shallow, around 25 feet, and many people try to touch the bottom and then come up. However, this is just a deceiving appearance because it actually leads to another underwater cave with 3 chambers. The first 2 are relatively open and easy to get through, but the third one has a really small squeeze to get into it. If you manage to squeeze through, you'll enter a room that is 10 feet tall, and you'll see a really small hole at the farthest edge, too small to pass through. This small tunnel was just 2 feet in diameter, and 2 years prior, 2 people died in it because after they managed to get through, a rock slide filled with gravel blocked them inside. Now, getting back to our 2 students, they were fairly experienced.
I feel like that should have been obvious. Like, it's 2 feet. You feel me? Like, it's 2 feet. It's the smallest chamber. All right.
In normal diving, but not in cave diving, and they were trying to get their instructor certification in open water diving. Their instructor, Don, was an incredibly skilled and experienced diver, and he was the one who removed the 2 bodies we just talked about. He used to constantly warn everybody to stay away from Jacob's Well since it's deadly, and he even tried to cover up the small hole that leads to the 4th chamber with some cement, but other divers reopened it and left.
See, Dons, we the best. We the best. We the best out there. You feel what I'm saying? He got the bodies out, and he tried to fix it. He tried to cover up the hole and shit so nobody else died in there. That's a good service. That's what we Dons do. You feel me? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what we do. Word. Shout out Dawn. Dawn to Dawn. We the Dawn. Yeah.
To cover up the small hole that leads to the 4th chamber with some cement, but other divers reopened it and left a message that said, "You can't keep us out." Don himself almost died in Jacob's Well. When he tried to enter the 4th chamber, a gravel slide trapped him in the tunnel. He almost resigned himself to death. His tank was empty, and he had swallowed some water when his survival instinct kicked in, and he started rapidly moving until he cleared enough gravel to escape. When he did, he saw his diving colleague extending a regulator for him to breathe. As he started resurfacing, the air inside his body expanded until he reached almost 4 times his normal body size. By the time he broke the surface, he was screaming in pain. His belly was huge because his stomach had completely ruptured. These stories caught the attention of Richard and Clark, who wanted to take a look for themselves, even though they didn't really know much about cave diving. On November 23rd, 1983, they went into Jacob's Well and reached the 3rd chamber, where the small hole was located. Richard removed his tank.
Are we hearing the same thing, bro? We hear, bro. Bro. Bro, are we that sounds like worse than dying in space. All the air in your stomach expand? That is insane. That remind me, if you seen Naruto, what's Choji's jutsu? Human expansion jutsu, bro? Mm-mm.
To get through the hole and started going in while holding his tank. When Clark removed his own oxygen tank and tried to get in, he saw Richard's face and noticed Richard didn't have the tank with him anymore and was suffocating. Clark quickly reached for the regulator and gave it to him, letting him breathe again. They started passing the regulator back and forth as they made their way out, and somehow they managed to get through the tight squeeze of the 3rd chamber. They then began making their way toward the exit until a terrifying sound caught their attention, a clank from their oxygen tank. Not only did this mean they'd hit a wall with the tank, so they were going the wrong direction, but it also meant the tank was almost empty. They realized they'd run into the false chimney in the 1st chamber, a tunnel that looks like it leads to the surface, but is actually a dead end. Clark managed to swim back to the surface and gasped for air after covering an incredible 75 feet in a single breath. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for Richard, who remained behind and drowned. When Clark called the police for assistance, Don the instructor himself showed up and was stunned to see his students there. Gollum's Cave. It's August 18th.
There's some unfortunate shit, bro. This is really sad, bro. This is sad. Terrifying, scary, sad. I don't know what possesses people to want to do these kinds of things, bro. I understand in the name of science, but god damn. Damn. Hopefully we get some more technological ways to like explore this kind of stuff without dying. Painful, excruciating death. Human expansion jutsu is not a good way to die.
2005, and a group of 5 friends decided to venture into the.
Why are all these places named after shit that sounds like death? Gollum's cave, bro. Why are we like? Who is Gollum? That's what I want to know. Who's Gollum? Who is he? Who is it? What is it? And why does he have a cave? If he owns a cave that size, why are we going in there? What if he's still in there? These kinds of questions I be asking, bro. I don't know about y'all. You know what I'm saying? I got a slight belief that some mythical creatures are not non-existent, like we like to say they are. You know, some crazy shit out there, man.
It's August 18th, 2005, and a group of 5 friends decided to venture into the Gollum Cave, also called the Cave of Death because of how dangerous it was. They reached the entrance at 3 a.m., and one of the friends decided
Do you hear this shit? So the cave belongs to death. Why you ain't just say that in the beginning? Oh yeah, this is Gollum's cave. So Gollum is death. Okay, heard that. Bet. Say less. Another name for the Grim Reaper.
to wait for the others outside. They encountered their first problem when actually trying to get in, as they had to crawl through a small pool of water. After that, there was a fork going left and right, and they chose left, which led them to another small pool of water. This seemingly innocent pool, however, actually led to another section of the cave through an underwater tunnel. The tunnel itself was really small, just 3 to 4 feet in diameter, and to get through it, you had to be completely submerged. This meant only one person at a time could go in, and they had to swim about 15 feet. One by one, they started plunging into the pool of water to reach the other side of the cave, and once they made it, they discovered a section with about 3 feet of airspace. From the perspective of the friend who stayed outside, there was no sound or light coming from inside the cave, and after a while he started to get worried. He went into the cave himself, but heard no noises and saw no lights. Not sure what to do, he first called some friends who had experience with caving, and then called the police. He couldn't have imagined what was happening inside. The 4 friends who went in probably realized that the 3 feet of airspace they'd reached had bad air, which is a term cavers use for air that doesn't have the normal balance of gases, meaning there's more carbon dioxide and less oxygen.
These caves are starting to sound like a thousand ways to die, bro. You got the soot at the bottom that's gonna fuck you up because you can't see shit. You got false caves and false exits and shit like that. You got open areas where you can come from underwater and get some air, but it's bad oxygen. How the fuck is it bad oxygen? Like, oh no. Oh man, bro. Oh man.
Air that doesn't have the normal balance of gases, meaning there's more carbon dioxide and less oxygen. This reduces your ability to think, move, and breathe properly, making the return swim through that narrow tunnel super risky. They tried to get back out one at a time, but the first person who went underwater was unable to find the exit hole before running out of breath. That happened because the increased carbon dioxide messed with her ability to hold her breath and think clearly. After 30 to 60 seconds, the second person went in and found the first one, and so on, until all of them got stuck in the tunnel. The police arrived and tried to pump in oxygen and pump out water, while family and friends waited anxiously outside the cave. Unfortunately, it was all in vain. The bodies were later recovered, and the cave was eventually closed off with cement. If you want to discuss this video or suggest an idea for the next one, join my Discord. Link in the description.
See, and that's crazy because, like, you know, everybody's body is different. So what if one of them, like, you know, the girl that went first, she obviously wasn't gonna make it, but like, what if one of the other 3, you know what I mean, could have made it, or all of them, you know what I'm saying? What if any one of them could have made it, but they couldn't get past the bodies? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's some sad shit, bro. Damn, man. Damn, that shit is sad. It's sad and scary, man. But that's the end of this one, y'all. We gonna I'm gonna try to get something new. We've been doing cave diving videos for a couple days now. That's not that long. Maybe we could do some more. Fuck it, we can do some more. But anyway, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Love y'all. Remedy is out.